Well, hello, my lovely friends. It is Tuesday, and I am back with another process video. This one is for the empty box series, and I have been a very busy girl, so I haven't gotten a lot of videos out to you in the past few days, but I am trying to get back on track, and I was bringing you one just about every day, either on the Cheeky channel or on my personal channel. And I'm going to try to do at least 3 to 4 a week, so stay tuned. My empty box series, if this is the first time you're watching this process video series, it is about this giant box of old kits that I had, and bits and bobs and little pieces that I only had a few of in a collection, and I just threw them all into this giant box. And I decided to give myself 6 solid months in order to empty that box. So I was challenging myself to use up my old stash and to create as many layouts as I could. And, you know, I didn't really have a number of layouts in mind. I just wanted to see if I could use as much in the box as possible and come up with new and fresh ideas of how to use them. Some of them, you know, like I said, were the very last bits and bobs, and so they were ones I didn't necessarily gravitate toward. And so this has allowed me to get very familiar with the items in my box and be able to create layouts very quickly. And I have gotten quite low in my box. I'm actually having to pull in some supplemental items for my empty box series, so still getting to dive into some of my stash. But I took this lovely piece of paper from the Oasis collection from Crate Paper, and I'm using it as my background. I'm also going to add this Pion, well, you can't see the Pion paper yet, but this one, this Pion paper I'm going to use as a border strip on the very top. And I am going to sew that down with my trusty sewing machine, but not until I start to replace some of these items that were embellishments from the empty box, just different pieces of ephemera. I believe there was some Dear Lizzie Saturday collection. There's also some citrus twist wood veneer, and I used some of their cut apart labels. They were the kit club that I used to subscribe to before Cheeky, and then the Cheeky kit club was just getting overwhelming and taking up all of my time, so I decided to focus more on my design work and, you know, working some shows and some crops and things like that. So I had quite a bit to work with. I'm actually going to do round 2 of the empty box series, and that will start April 1st. I went ahead and layered up my photo, and you know, I kind of like to do that. I feel like it makes the photo stand out a little bit, and so I used some of the Studio Calico Here Plus There paper, and I think I picked it up at Tuesday Morning or something a long time ago. It's fairly old. And then I also used some of that Pion paper to back my photo. And this lovely girl is Alan's cousin's girlfriend. So they were visiting, Max and Megan. You may have heard me talk about them before, but Max is Bab's cousin, and Megan is his girlfriend, and they live together. They've been together forever, and I can't believe they're not married, but apparently the whole reason they're not married is because she refuses to learn how to drive. And they're from Michigan, just outside of Detroit area, so there's some weird thing you have to know how to drive, and you have to be into cars, and it's a Michigander thing. So Max keeps teasing her and saying, yeah, we're not going to get married until, you know, you learn how to drive a car. But I think the truth of the matter is he wants to buy a house first. He wants to buy a nice ring first, you know, all that good stuff. And he's just teasing her. So I grabbed some of the ephemera I had played with earlier as far as placement goes, and I'm just adding it back to the areas that I thought looked good. That one little piece I'm putting down here was from a labels collection, and I never knew what I was going to do with that little label, but I found a spot for it. It's from the Paige Evans Turn the Page Labels and Journal Spots, and it was to me it just looked a little bit youthful, and yet here I have figured out a way to use it and help empty that box. So let's see, the tag that is kind of navy and hot pink says "Be kind, it's classy." And that's from the Saturday collection, and that's Dear Lizzie. And then also Live Today is from that collection. I believe the navy heart is from that collection, and also the camera possibly. Now that heart I just put down is, I want to say, from Make Your Mark. It is an older collection. Oh, I'm showing you there that I sewed these pieces down, and I also sewed that border strip down. Now I know that this little bouquet of flowers and this bicycle are also from the Dear Lizzie Saturday collection. And I believe that label that is orange and pink is from Paige Evans Turn the Page. And possibly, no, I think that orange label, well, I'm not sure where that orange label up at the top came from. Yeah, don't quote me on that one. But the other little cut apart label from Citrus Twist that goes across the navy heart says Crazy Days Like This. And then also I had some little pieces left in one of the original Pink Fresh puffy stickers that I had ever gotten. And so I'm trying to figure out placement for that word delightful, and also for that little square from Pink Fresh. Oh, and the rainbow. Those are all from Pink Fresh. So the words Girl Squad is from a set of thickers. I'm trying to remember the name of them. I don't think I wrote them down here. But if you've been watching this series, I've incorporated a lot of these thickers. And I want to say it was from the Girl Squad collection, but I can't remember who made that. Anyway, but as you can see, I am just embellishing the heck out of this page, and I love how it turned out. I love that I got to use a ton of the ephemera. I'm going to pull a stamp from here, and I use such a light color that you really have to look for it to read it. But it is from that empty box, and it says Soul Sisters. I just used a very light peach Bellini color, and it really doesn't show up on camera, but you can see it in person. You do have to kind of look for it, but oh well. I didn't want to restamp it and then run the risk of it being not unlegible, unreadable. Yeah, I guess unreadable. What else? Oh, the wood veneer says being nice is cool. And so all of these little phrases and labels, I really felt it translated into how Megan is, how we are together. It's funny because Max and Bab are two peas in a pod, and although Megan and I have somewhat different personalities, I mean, she's a little bit more of an introvert and a homebody, and you know, she doesn't mind the cold. She's from Michigan, and she's a hairdresser, so I mean, very different. You know, we're very different people, but yet we get along so fantastic. It's like I'm closer to her and Max than anybody else in the family, and so is Bab. And so it's really, really nice when we get to visit them. Now, too much of Bab and Max together for several days, I get it. I can see why it drives some people crazy, especially the family, but in small doses, they're fantastic. I finished up here with some of the Heidi Swap Color Shine in gold, And that is it. I am going to pull that thread off of Megan's lovely face so that that's not sticking out. But that's it. That is a good way to use a bunch of your stash and a bunch of your ephemera, which you know I love. And I will have another video for you very soon. There are still pictures coming up at the end, information on how to find me and how to find Cheeky Studio. And there will also be a link at the end of this video to take you back to the very first video where I shared the original box of goodies. And so I also did an update video, I think it was February 1st or somewhere around then, about, or no, maybe it was February 15th. I think it was the 15th, if you want to see how far down I have gotten into this box. So that is it. I appreciate you watching. Ta-ta for now. Bye.